Hey, I'm Stephanie, and I recently watched a video where Tania B. Wells applied the brand new Fara Homidi Essential Bronzer across her beautiful cheekbones. And boom, my no-buy began to wobble like a newborn fawn on roller skates. But then I went back and rewatched that video, and I noticed something that I hadn't seen before, and it's helping me not buy the bronzer. So let's talk about it. If you're new here, I used to over-purchase makeup, and my definition of that is that I was buying so much that I wasn't able to realistically enjoy it all. So I now try to be much more intentional with my purchases and help you do the same. But I've got bronzer on the brain. It's summer in Munich. The city feels kind of like a communal sauna, and I would kind of like to look like I've been laying out on a Sicilian terrace for the past few weeks without, of course, the airfare or the UV damage. If you add in the fact that I'm still in the honeymoon phase with my just 2-month-old Gucci bronzer, then it's kind of the perfect storm. I've got bronzer on the brain all day, every day. So here's why this new Fara Homidi bronzer has shot an arrow straight through my sensible shopper shield. First of all, I'm gonna look at my notes, it supposedly has a cream to powder texture, and it promises a weightless, skin-melting finish because apparently it fuses oils with powders. So the formula alone makes me want to try it. The finish is luminous but without shimmer. According to the reviews that I've seen, it's described as blurring on the skin, as looking soft and natural, as if looking like you're not even wearing bronzer, just that you've been outside enjoying the outdoors and the sunshine and you're just naturally healthy. And that is exactly the kind of finish that I enjoy the most in makeup. Plus, it is vegan, Italian-made, and in weighted packaging. And it's the sort of thing that gives you the slow luxury vibe that just whispers that it should be sitting on my vanity. And since I watched that initial Tania B. Wells video, the algorithm has just been tossing me reviews of this bronzer left and right. And everybody seems to agree that it's a beautiful bronzer with such a natural finish. It's so easy to blend. It's a beautiful product. It doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. It just looks like summer. And that's what I want. But what I think is really happening is that phenomenon where everybody is talking about this one new thing, so it just seems like it's the best thing on the planet. That is marketing doing its job, but it's also a sign that I need to recalibrate some stuff and be careful. So what I really have to do is take a step back and remind myself that no matter how luxurious it seems, all makeup at the end of the day is just dirt pressed into a fancy little pan. But Tania made that hard for me. She's someone I really admire. She seems smart, thoughtful. She's incredibly talented at describing tone and texture in a way that makes you want to try these things yourself, which is a gift, but it's also something that I personally have to be very mindful about as a viewer, especially when I'm on a no-buy like I am right now. In her video, she said, and I quote, "The color is stunning, and I do want another color, maybe 2 more colors, but I think out of all of them, this is the perfect one for me." So she already had the perfect shade in her hands, and yet she was saying that she wanted 2 more. And I think in context, that's a very understandable impulse because she's a makeup reviewer. And especially when a product is this expensive, you want to make sure that a review is going to provide as much information as possible. And if you have the budget to do it, getting several shades and demonstrating them on one skin tone can be really helpful information for someone who's going to watch that review. So I think that it makes sense for someone like her to buy several different shades so that she can do her job to the best of her ability. But when I watched it the second time, that line actually made me pause the video. And it's funny because I didn't even notice it the first time through. But when I was paying closer attention, that line landed differently for me because it made me aware that it wasn't just the product that I was responding to. I was also responding on some level to the habit that was being modeled. She thought the formula was so good that she wanted to buy 1 or 2 additional shades. And that's what made me stop and reflect. And it's not because she said anything wrong. She most certainly didn't. She's thinking about that product in the context of her life, her collection, her tools, her job. But I have to remember that it's my responsibility to think about that information in the context of my life, my collection, my budget, and my preferences. It was then that I remembered that I don't just learn about products when I watch reviews. I also absorb information on what's normal. And if I'm not careful, I might just internalize other people's habits that don't actually fit my life or my reality. Because while I do review makeup on this channel, I just do it in a completely different context from Tania. And that's the great thing about social media, that you have so many different people shedding different perspective and different light on the same topic, because different perspectives are going to be valuable to various people at different times. For one, I'm a smaller creator than she is, and I have a smaller channel budget. But secondly, I feel like she and I just have very different goals for our collections. She seems to be building more of a reference library for her review work, whereas I'm currently more interested in careful curation. But also, one of the guiding ideas behind this channel in every review is the Adagio mindset. And that's the idea that we can buy less so that we can enjoy what we already have more. So if I were to run out and impulsively grab this bronzer right now, which I am so tempted to do, even if I could justify that as a review expense, what kind of habit would that model? Not an Adagio one, that is for sure. And this actually ties into things I've been exploring in recent videos, so I'll link them here and in the show notes. One is about how I'm learning to consume content without constantly being influenced to buy too much stuff. One is about how language influences our shopping behavior. And one is about what we can learn from our past purchases. And I feel like seeing the patterns in these behaviors can really help us move forward with more clarity and less stuff. So instead of browsing, I'm taking a beat, I'm swatching what I already own, and I'm seeing what it tells me. I'll share the results of the swatch session next week, so make sure you're subscribed if you'd like to see it. So here's why I'm turning inside instead of buying, and we'll line the facts up on my imaginary whiteboard here. First of all, I am in the thick of No Buy July, and rules are rules, especially because I made them. So I don't want to break my own rules. And the number one most important rule of this no buy is that I am not buying anything during the month of July that does not directly pertain to my health, safety, or survival. And as much as my makeup monster would love to convince me that I need this bronzer to live, the facts just don't support that. The second reason it would be a bad idea for me to purchase it is that I am still in Gucci bronzer bliss. I just purchased it a little over 2 months ago. I'm still thrilled by it. I'm still learning the nuances of how I want to use it, so I don't want to distract myself from that. It's too fun. Point number 3 is that my channel has priorities. One of the biggest whys behind my No Buy July is that every cent I save this month will go towards replacing my dying camera and improving my audio. Because yes, I have received your feedback, and I promise I am working at improving things as quickly as I can. But point number 4 is just as important to me on a personal level, and that's that I don't want to divide my time and attention too much. If I were to purchase yet another luxury bronzer, then that would mean I would have even less time and energy to spend with the beautiful bronzers I already have. And why would I want to enjoy them less? If you add it all up and carry the one, the answer is pretty clear. At the very least, I should wait before making this purchase. So what are the benefits of waiting? I set a goal for this No Buy July, and sticking to it teaches me a lot. If you're curious, I've been sharing my daily reflections in a free blog, so I'll link that below. What I'm learning is that self-restraint is not punishment. It's a muscle. And training a muscle can sometimes be hard, it can sometimes be uncomfortable, it can sometimes be borderline painful. But that sort of challenging discomfort is exactly what makes us strong. And I find that I'm getting more satisfaction out of building that muscle right now, especially over the long term, than I would ever get from a pan of creamed powder goo, as beautiful as it is. Pressing pause on this purchase also gives me some time to reflect on the true cost of the bronzer. I'm not just talking about the financial aspect here, I'm talking about the ripple effects that buying this bronzer would have on my life down the line. Because I'm sure I would be thrilled to unbox it, that it would be exciting to open it up and use it for the first couple of times. But that excitement ultimately fades at some point, and I'm left with other factors. I'm left with less money to spend on my gear. I'm left with less space in my makeup drawer, less clarity in my makeup routine, and I'm gonna have to spend more time organizing and cleaning my things when I have more objects if I buy that bronzer. So is it truly worth those costs? I'm not entirely sure, but this gives me time to consider those things. But lastly, the more I've been delving into this mindset, the more I feel content. So why rock the boat on contentment? It's like chasing joy I already have. My cup is full right now, and Restraint doesn't feel like austerity. It feels more like a magnifying glass for my pleasure and my gratitude. That doesn't mean I can't try it at some point in the future. If there's enough interest and I've solved my tech problems, I can always pick up the bronzer later after my no-buy and when I can buy it with my channel's budget. But that would be a deliberate, data-based, value-aligned choice, not an impulse swipe at checkout, which is what it would be if I just bought it right now. So let me know if you'd like me to review this bronzer in the Adagio context. Leave me a comment, or if typing is too much effort right now, I totally get it. Just leave me a sun emoji in the comments. I'll know what you mean. So here's where I'm landing on the bronzer. I'm smitten from afar, but I'm staying faithful to myself and the bronzers I already love. But I have a question for you. What was the last product that a creator talked about that just gave you that immediate urge to add it to your cart? Did you go through with it or did you walk away? I would love to know, especially what helped you make your decision. If you enjoy intentional beauty with a dose of reflection, hit subscribe, boop that like button, and check out this video here. A huge thanks goes out to all my Club Adagio members, including my lovely Adagio angels, for keeping this channel glowing, and I hope that we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.